Hi, precious one. My name is LD George Kobina Ofori from Stan Inclusive Consult. This is our first edition of Leadership Pie that we are bringing to you. And I'm excited that you have made time to listen to this podcast, and I know it's going to be so much great of interest and blessing to you. So today on our podcast, or on our Leadership Pie, our first edition, we are talking about leadership defined, the definition of what leadership. So many a times I have concluded in various meetings on leadership. When I get a chance to talk to people about leadership, I go by saying that leadership has no definition, which is true. I understand by it that leadership is difficult to define leadership. That's what I mean. So how do people define leadership? How do people say this is what leadership is? It is difficult. This is one thing that is not easy to define. Okay, but leadership in some way, somehow, can be defined. Leadership can be defined, but how it is defined is what becomes the issue. Okay, so today's session, I'm going to define what leadership is. I'm going to talk about what leadership is. Okay, what we mean by leadership. When we say leadership, what is it? How do we define? And you see, the best way to appreciate this session is that leadership basically is about a person, it's about a lifestyle, it's a personality, it's a lifestyle. So it's not really an art, it's not really you doing something that defines leadership. Okay, it's an art. So leadership is more of a personality, it's a lifestyle that you live. And so I have 5 definitions of leadership, and all these definitions I associated, or I link it with the personality or the nature of some persons. Okay, so we'll be looking at the personality or the nature of God. We'll be looking at the personality or the nature of a gardener or a farmer. We'll be looking at the personality of an artist, or maybe let's say a painter. Okay, painting pictures. We'll be looking at the personality of a paparazzi or a cameraman. We'll be looking at the personality, finally, of that of parenting or parents. Okay, so that's what we are going to do to define leadership, have a clear definition of leadership, so that we can know what we mean by leadership anytime you're talking about leadership, and we can understand that this is what leadership is, and this is how we are supposed to journey our leadership. And if we are in companies or in schools, anywhere we find ourselves, a church, the religious sectors, any institution that you are in as a leader, you are able to grow your leadership ability. So let me start first of all with that of the nature of God. So we say that leadership, okay, defining leadership. When I define leadership in the aspect of God, we are saying that leadership is the ability or the art of creating. Leadership is creativity. Okay, so making something out of nothing. That is what I mean by that. Okay, so the first definition of leadership in connection to God is what? Leadership is what? Creativity. So that is making what? Something out of nothing. We know that God is God created the world, created the universe. And so in creating us, what God did was that God created man out of what? Made something out of nothing. So we as a precious being, which as we as the most topest of all God's creation, the most valuable of all God's creation, the final, like the finals of his beauty, of expression, of a splendor of God. That is you and I. We were made out of what? Nothing. That is the sun. If we give the sun to you, it's today that we are building with the sun. Yes, but when we give a mud to you, the clay to you, it's difficult to actually make something of meaning or valuable. But man was made out of what? The dust. So that is where I define leadership, and with a connection with God, that's in creativity or creativeness. That is what? Making something of value out of what? Nothing. So leaders are what? Makers. They are creators. So when we come to this aspect of leadership, what is going to help you is that you understand that leadership or leaders in this context are making people. They make people. Leaders are the ones who make people. Leaders are the ones that made whoever we are today are leaders. When we talk about leaders, we are not talking about political leaders. We are not talking about just religious leaders. We are looking at leaders at all angles, all institutions. Leaders make people. So the ability to make somebody who was nothing, okay, to become something of value is what we mean by leadership. So leadership is creativity. As first example I'll give is the example of God, that he made the sun. He made human being out of a sun. That is the best thing we talk about creativity. To create something. We look at another example is Jesus. You know, Jesus is one of the greatest leaders in the sense that he had 12 people who were just common people. Bible says unskillful, unknown. Bible says who were not schooled. But Jesus took time, 3 years with them, and these were men who could stand in front of thousands and still speak. People who were timid. Some of the disciples were scared away by ladies, were scared by the whip of soldiers. But these same soldiers were around and they were able to confront them, stand boldly, and talk to them. Why? Because they have been trained, they have been made to become men of great. So leaders are makers. They create what something of value out of nothing. Don't look for already made people. As a leader, it's not your job to look for already made people who are already finished, and say that you made them. No, that is not your credit. But look for people who do not even believe themselves, who don't see anything of value among themselves. And you tell them that, hey, I am so and so. I am a leader. I have been graced, I have been gifted to raise people like you. As they give you the hand, you are going to make them the next big thing in the country, the next big thing in Africa. Why? Because leadership is about creativity. Leadership is about making the people. Jesus always told the people, follow me and I'll make you. You see, as a leader, he was always telling the people, come with me and I'm going to make you. Make you what? Make you what you have always wanted to be. He said, follow me and I'll make you. That was the statement of Jesus. Okay, as one of the greatest leaders. Now let's look at another great leader called David. So we know that David, when he was starting his journey as a king, had 4 men. Bible says they were unskilled. They were ordinary men who didn't know how to fight. But David had trained them over the years. When David was about to die, these men were called the mighty men of David. 4 men, mighty men of David. As a leader, my advice to you is that don't go in for already made people. Go in for the people who do not even believe in themselves, who don't see the future of themselves, who don't see anything valuable of themselves. They have been reduced to nothing, and you come and you make something out of the nothing. Creativity. You create something in them. You awaken that self-consciousness, that purpose, that value in them. That is the work of a leader. So we are defining leadership. Say leadership is creativity. That is what? Making what? Making something out of what? Nothing. To create means that the thing has never been existed. But here in leadership, the potential of the person is even hidden. The person doesn't even know that there is something that I can do. Then you bring that thing up. So you make something out of the person. The person comes to know that I have become somebody of value because I was given to a leader who made me. Time will not permit us to go into all these processes because to create is a process. The process of creation. We can't go into it. It's another session that we will dive into it. Okay. So, but you see, I'm saying that leadership, you are defining leadership. You say leadership is creativity. Leadership is creativeness. Leadership is creation. Why do we say that? Making something out of what? Nothing. When you make something out of nothing, that is when we are saying that leadership is in place. Leadership is on course. Let me give you an example again, or let you understand it further. For you to understand, if you are talking about, okay, you have an understanding of what? Procreation. So, To create, okay, start with procreation, okay, to make something of your own kind. If you are not great, you cannot make anybody great. If you are not kind, you cannot make anybody kind. If you are not helpful, you cannot make anybody helpful. If you are not relevant, you cannot make anybody relevant. It is difficult to see that a lady has given birth to a goat. And it is amazing and surprising to see that a dog has given birth to a cat. Because you have to produce, you have to create after your own kind. So the creator said that let us make man in our own image and likeness. And so creation, the first aspect of creation, that is procreate, means that you are going to make something out of your own kind. So as a leader, your followers are going to become like you. They are going to take the step of you. They are going to be as exact representation of you. So if you are not something of value, something of significance, you cannot create something out of nothing. That is the first aspect. That is how we define leadership. Saying that leadership is what? Leadership is creativity. Leadership is making something out of what? Out of nothing. So let's go to the second aspect of leadership, where I want to define leadership in the context or to the personality of what? Of the farmer. The main job of a farmer, so with farming, I'm looking at the aspect of the aspect of crops, okay, seeds, not going into animal husbandry. So we know that a farmer cultivates. The farmer always cultivates. So what we are saying is that leadership is cultivating. Leadership is cultivating. What does it mean? That is producing many out of the little. Leadership is cultivating. So leadership is the process of cultivating or the art of cultivating. And that is what? Producing what? Many out of what? Little. So you produce finished products. Every leader, you have to serve the finished product. When you are training or you are raising people and they are not well cooked, when they are served, when people eat, they are going to get stomach upset. Why? Because the people were not well cooked. The people were not well cooked. The people were not well cooked. So leadership is about cultivating. So you cultivate, you produce many out of their little. People with little talents, just one talent, one gifting. You produce many out of them. So you get me someone who has the gift to sing. After 5 years with the person should be able to sing, write his own song, and even play an instrument. That is what? Producing many out of the little. So you give a farmer maybe seeds, about, let's say, a handful of seed, and the person can give you a whole plantation. Why? He has produced what? Many out of the little. And that is the job of what? The leader. That is the function of a leader. That is what leadership is about. That is what? Cultivating or cultivation. Producing many out of the little. Producing many out of the little. So you make finished products. You make finished products. Because human beings are like seeds that needs to be planted. We need to be planted at the right place. Okay, you may have the good seed. You may have a person following you, but where you plant the person, where you fix the person, is another issue. Because when you don't plant them at the right place, they will not grow. People are like trees. When you go through the Bible, I will always say this: I'm a Christian and I'm not shy. Okay, I believe that the first or the most important book in this world is the Bible. So I know the Bible from cover to cover. And when you take the Bible, you realize that people are like trees, or people are always connected to trees or described in connection to trees. So when you read the writings of David in the book of Psalm 1 verse 1 up to 4 or 3, it says that blessed is the man who does not sit with sinners, laugh with them, doesn't associate himself with sinners. But that person's delight, joy is in the word of God. It says that person will be like a tree planted by the riverside. So you are planted like a tree. in John chapter 15, you realize that Jesus said that I am the vine, you are the branches. So you see that again, we have been connected to tree. We have been connected to tree. Okay, and so when you're talking about tree, every tree that you see was first of all a seed. So as you are seeing the tree bearing fruit now, was first of all a seed that needs to be planted. And so in your planting, in your cultivation, that is where the acts or the work of a leader comes in. So the leader comes in to plant, the leader comes in to cultivate, the leader comes in to make sure that the tree is planted at the right place, giving enough condition for growth. There are a lot of people with talent, there are a lot of people with giftings, there are a lot of people with like potentials, but where they are planted, where they have been cultivated, is what has become a blockade, a barrier to their growth. They were the best that we could think of, but their growth, they have not been able to grow. Why? Because they are not planted well. So leadership is about cultivating the people, planting them at a place where they will grow. So as a leader, you have to understand the process of growth. In the process of growth, every seed needs to be planted first. And every seed that is planted, you have to, understanding the process of growth. In the process of growth, you have to understand the phases of what? Seed. Every seed has 3 phases: cultivation, termination, germination. You cultivate them, you plant them. As you plant them, the next process they will go through is that they will be terminated. That is a death experience of life. They'll be terminated. So sometimes the training that we give to people, they think that we are harming them, but it is part of the growth. You need to be terminated before you can be germinated. So if a seed does not die, there's no life that comes out of it. So some of the training kills you. It kills the pride in you. It kills the stubbornness in you. It kills the laziness. It kills the comfort in you, so that you can grow, so that you can become the best. You see, there's so much oil in you, but you need to be squeezed before the oil comes out. How do we get the juice from the fruit? How do you get pineapple juice from a pineapple without crushing it? The pineapple juice is the best juice, but you need to be crushed before people can drink of you. The same way that you are a fruit, you need to be planted, you need to be germinated. But before you can germinate, there must be termination. That is the death that you go through. So when you are talking about leadership, you are saying that leadership is what? Leadership is cultivation or cultivating. What? Producing what? Many out of the little. The first one we said was that leadership in connection to God is creativity or creativeness. Making what? Something out of what? Nothing. But we hear you are producing what? That of the gardener or that of the farmer. You are producing what? You are producing many out of what? The little that you have been given. So with your leadership, I want you to understand, with leadership pie, I want you to understand that leadership is about cultivating. After creativity, we talk about cultivation. And you see, all these things are a message on its own that will come your way. Okay? What it means to create. You will go deep into it. Look at the phases of creation. Look at the determinants of creation. We also come to cultivation. Look at how it means to cultivate. But today is just definition. We are just defining leadership. I just want you to understand that this is how to define leadership. Anytime you are defining leadership, it must be associated, connected to a personality or a function. Because leadership is more of a function than a position. It's not about titles. It's about the function. It's about the responsibility that makes you a leader. Okay. And so a good example we can look at is the institution, educational institution. A child who goes to school, maybe sometime at the age of 1 or at the age of 6 months. So at the age of 6 months, the child goes to school. And by the time the child is 23 or 25, done with the university, the child is already has been made, who is fit for job to face the outside world. So the little that we're given of children, the ability to speak or the ability to see and even understand movement, now the person can even own a company, can start a business. Why? Because the person has been taken through the leadership process of growth. From you see, there's little in the person, but we have been able to produce many. Our teachers are the best leaders, but they are the less celebrated and spoken about. Why? Because because we feel like we have paid them to teach us, but see, it's their responsibility, it's their job, it's their duty. But what they are doing is what is moving. Every country that is succeeding has a good education system. Every country that is succeeding has what? Good education system. And so we are talking about leadership. Using this example, you see, the little that were in us, some of us, all that we knew was to say A, B, C, D. We didn't know sentences. We didn't know passive words and active words. We didn't know verbs. We didn't know conjunctions. We didn't know anything about grammar. But you see, they have been able to produce many things. And some of us now can write a book, but 20 years ago, you couldn't write a book. Why? Through the education system, you see, they have produced many out of the little that you know. So that is the example that I could give for you to understand that leaders, as a farmer or as a gardener, you have to do what? You have to produce many things out of the little that has been given. The life of human is that there are thousands of talents in us. Sometimes we discover just 3 or 5 and we think that we are on top. No. You see, we are limited, yes. But as a leader, make sure that you bring the best. You bring all that is in any follower of you. You see, there is thousands and thousands of talents, of giftings. So the area you find yourself, if you are a songwriter, you can be trained to sing. Don't think that you are not called to sing. You can be trained to sing. So you, the leader, anybody under you who is even a footballer or who is a singer, who is a dressmaker, anything a person does, there are aspects that can be done more. Okay, so you can be singing and you don't know how to write a song. So you produce many things out of the little that a person has. And every follower, anybody that you see on the street has something little. It can be just one, but it can produce many out of that little. So that is the aspect of what leadership is when it comes to that of a gardener or a farmer. So the next one we want to talk about is that of an artist, or let's say a painter. So people who draw using colors. When you see a paint, any paint, finished painting, well, that's what I mean, or a drawing, the artist did what? Combine many colors. There is no painting that you will see one color. Let me give you a good example. There is no flag in this world that is made up of one color. Some is made of just 2 colors. So the ability to combine just 2 colors or 3 or 4 to make a meaning is what we call leadership. When I'm done with this point, you understand leadership very well. Okay. So we are talking about adding beauty to life or adding a meaning to life by doing what? By combining different colors. By what? Combining different colors. So when you're talking about leadership, here we are saying that the leader is trying to combine a lot of things. Is trying to have a lot of meaning. Is trying to bring meaning to life. Is trying to add value, beauty to life by combining what? Different colors. That is what the painter does. That's what the artist does. And that is the work of a leader. That is the definition of leader. So leadership is combining different phenomena, different aspects, different people, different talents to make a meaning. Painting. A good example, painting. Okay. So when you are painting, you go for different colors. These colors have a purpose that they serve. So there are some colors that is good to use. Looking at the location, looking at the weather, the environment that you are in, the people, their age, their perception, their culture, their religion. But a painter can paint and everybody's excited about it, irrespective of where the person is coming from, irrespective of how the person even understands things. They can read meaning into the painting without a word, without a writing. So we can just paint and you know that the person, this paint is talking about how a son is fetching water or a son is trying to mow the lawn and the father is instructing without a word. Out of the painting, we understand that. That is what leadership is about. Leadership is about bringing people together from different culture, different religion, different perception, different experience in life. And they have unified together. And with their unity, you could see that they are achieving a particular goal. You see, for this you have to understand diversity. You have to understand diversity and how to unify diversity. So you understand that they are different people, and you understand how these different people can unite together to produce the same results that you have always wanted. You can never have two people being the same, not even twins. So as a leader, how can you bring these people together? What can you do to just let these people unite, harmonize, and produce the results? And this is what takes leadership to do. As the painter will put colors, the red, the green, how can you combine green and red? Look at Gucci, the colors of Gucci, or the colors that is being used during Christmas. And it's so nice. How can you think of green and red? But it's so nice. That is because somebody just sat down and blended these two colors, and there's a meaning to it. Not every colors can blend, or even some colors can blend, but the way you put them, the angle, the position of the painting is what sells. So as a leader, you add meaning to life, or you add meaning or beauty to life by combining different aspects, different leadership styles, different phenomena, different concepts of leadership. And it communicates to people. It communicates to the world. So you have to understand division of labor. You have to understand cooperation. You have to understand specialization. Okay, so you cooperate with different people. So in an organization, like I don't know why I'm so excited about pineapple juice. I have to go for lunch with a pineapple juice today. So it's a pineapple company, okay? A pineapple company, a pineapple juice company. And we have people who are into packaging. We have people who are into going to the field to bring the pineapple. We have the drivers. We have the HR, those in administrative work. And these are different people with different tasks. They see things different. You have the engineers who work with the machines that will do the crushing of the pineapple and suck the juice out of it. But they all work together. Specialization of labor or division of labor. They are all working together under one leadership, and they are producing the juice, and the juice is selling, making it waves in Africa. Why? Because of leadership. So leadership is about combining difference to make a meaning. It's about combining what's difference to make a meaning. That is leadership. So when we're talking about leadership, this is what we call leadership. So define leadership as what? Combining difference. So the first one we did with God, we said that leadership is what? Creativeness. What? Making something out of nothing. Then we came back to the gardener or the farmer. We said leadership is what? Cultivating. Producing what? Many out of the little. Now we come to the painter or the artist. We are saying that leadership is what? Combining difference to make a meaning. Combining difference to make a meaning. And you have to understand diversity, difference among people. But yes, still, we come together. Let me give you a typical example. In a football match, there are some who are left-footed, some are right, some are strikers, some are goalkeeping. Okay, all these positions are there. We have some who are even trainers who train these people. We have different tasks. The keeper cannot come and say that I want to keep in the middle. It has to be in a particular position. The way we have some colors. You see, there's a place that when they are painting, there's a place that the white should be, which man shouldn't maybe be close to the red to make a meaning. There are times the black should be far from that of the orange. You see, the painter knows different colors by making a meaning. So these are different people with different positions, different assignments, what they have to do. But they are, due to their difference, they are also together in unity to make sure they win the match. That is the beauty of leadership. Leadership is complex but simple. When we understand what it means to define leadership, it becomes simple. When you don't get the understanding or you don't get a concept of defining leadership, leadership will become very complex. But it is simple. So with a football match, if you can take your time and watch a football match, from the training to the dressing room to walking on the pitch, on the football field. So when they win, you could see clearly. And mind you, it doesn't take a day or an hour to paint a beautiful picture. Some people, it takes months. They paint little by little. And you can start the painting all over again many times. Why? Because you want to add meaning or beauty to life. It will take you years to understand people, to bring people of different culture, different ethnic groups. So, you see, countries like Ghana, I'm a Ghanaian. So countries like Ghana, I'm 30 years. So I've been in Ghana for 30 years, so I know what I'm saying. We have not witnessed a war. There have been tribal, community, some kind of indifferences among people. They fought, police, commotion, but there have not been a war as compared to that of different countries fighting or the whole country trying to kill themselves. No. Why? But we have different ethnic groups, different cultures. Ghana is where, you see, I believe that whatever the world is looking for, Ghana have it. Ghana here, we have good leaders because the ability to have political stability. No, it takes good leadership and the grace of God. It takes good leadership that different ethnic groups, different cultures, different diversity. Okay, difference, but yes, still harmony and peace. We can coexist. It's cooperation. If you know any Ghanaian outside his or her country, any Ghanaian in your country, he's the most peaceful person or she's the most peaceful person you have ever known. Yes, because this is how our leaders have trained us in our school. You can go to a school and all the tribes are in that school. Enemies can still laugh. We can still move along. Why? We marry each other based on the region you are coming from, or the state or the tribe you are coming from. This is how we have been trained. And that is leadership. So the country is at peace. There's a difference between a male and female. For the ability for ladies to work with a gentleman and still there is this respect, there is peace. That is the work of a leader. We unify them. Though there is difference, we unify them. When to talk, when not to talk. So when to use this color, when not to use this color. So it's an aspect that we will dive deep into it. And the next time you are talking about leadership by. Okay, so this is where we pause for the artist, on definition of artist. So the definition of leadership in connection to an artist, we say that it is about what? The painting, the colors, combining the colors. So combining different things to make meaning. Different aspects of leadership, different people to achieve the same task. That is leadership. Now we have to come back, okay? So let's come back to the definition. So we move to capturing, okay? That is defining leadership in connection to that of what? The cameraman or that of the paparazzi. Let me put it that way. Okay, so we have a paparazzi, which is the cameraman or a photographer. What is the job of a photographer? The job of a photographer is to take pictures. And do you know the amazing thing about them? This is not a selfie, but a professional cameraman taking pictures. So the pictures that you are taking, This is what you are doing. You are capturing the best, and you are not part of the picture, but you are trying to make the best out of it. Trying to get the best image possible that you can get, just to sell the person's image, not to sell yourself. Because many people do not tell us who took the picture. When you see a picture, hardly do you see credits. Credits, maybe this photo studio. Hardly do you see. Most of the pictures we see it on internet, we don't even know where it is coming from. Unless maybe in the news that they tell us that they took it from this website. But the person who took the picture, the cameraman, is not known. We watch footballs and we see the videos and the pictures of C. Ronaldo and Messi. But the person who took it, we don't know. But the person can run just to get the picture, the clear picture of Usain Bolt. That is the work of a leader. Leaders bring the best. So leadership is capturing the best of people and making it reality, selling it out there. So leaders don't destroy the image of people. They build the image of people. They don't destroy the image of people. They build the image of people. So if you're a leader, you don't say that you don't destroy, but you build. So you capture the best out of people and make it a reality. This job is a job that I call it a selfless job, because you are not part. I always get amazed how the person is not part of the picture, of the group picture, but he's trying his best to make sure that he gets the nicest picture. And there's not going to be anywhere the person can sign or add his name. Now that we have digital pictures, so that you can add your name, but I'm talking about the old cameras way back in the 90s or 2000s, where that camera that you have to take the film to the studio and go and print them and bring it. No, you can't add your name. You can't add your name. You can't add your name. So that is the job, and that is leadership. Is what capturing capturing the best out of the people and making it a reality. It's a selfless job. It's a selfless job. It's a selfless job. And the amazing thing about, I don't know for today's camera, but my father had a camera. As a little boy, my father had a camera. So way back in 2000, 2001, 2002, anytime we are going to school, my father would sometimes take us a picture. And we will complain that, Daddy, my uniform is dirty. Okay. But what he tells us is not to worry about it, because when he takes the picture and after a week or 2 weeks, he prints the picture. We have the photo, looking at it. Our uniform that was dirty is now new. It looks like it was washed, but it wasn't washed. The camera, some way, somehow, takes away the dirt. Leadership, your leadership ability, okay, it's supposed to take away the imperfection of the person. So we bring you people who are not perfect, but per your leadership ability, per your leadership experience, what happens is that the imperfect person becomes perfect. The imperfect person becomes perfect. So perfection here is not that the person is all complete 100%. But if the person was shy, but now the person can stand in front of a crowd. I'm a testimony. Those who knew me in secondary school, even at university level, reading my law degree, I was called to come and speak. Like, I was shaking, like I couldn't say a word. But at the same person, I take a microphone, and it's like a similar auditorium somewhere. And I'm speaking, and people are saying, hey, you are good at speaking, the way you handle the microphone. Yes, I'm made, someone took the time to just capture the best out of me. 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 And so that is what leadership is about. It's making what? The unperfect what? Perfect. That is capturing the, you as a cameraman, as a photographer, what you tell people is how to pose, how to stand, what dress to wear, the background. So the leader instructs you what to do, what not to do. It is just to bring the best out of you and make sure that your imperfection dies off for your profession to come to play. For your profession to come to play. Okay. And that is the work of a leader. That is the work of a leader. So leadership is capturing what? The best out of what? Out of people to make it a reality. Another aspect of the capturing of the work of a paparazzi is that, you see, they give you an image. So they make sure your self-image is valuable. So people, you can go outside and you want to buy the picture or the film of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was our first president. He's the only president we celebrate here. You know, though we thank all the presidents that have come, but he's the only dead president who we celebrate because he brought us what? The independence, the liberty in 1957. Okay, this is in March 1957. As Ghanaians, we buy his picture. Why do we buy his picture? It was taken by someone. So this image becomes valuable. You can place a value on it. People sell. People make money. The same with Nelson Mandela. People, the same with Gaddafi. People make money. You know, they buy the pictures. Why? It was taken by someone and they took their time to take the best out of it. That is leadership. So as a leader, when someone has followed you, or your team members, or your workers, or your followers, your church members, your students, after some time, a year, after 2 years, 3 years, they should know that their self-image, there has been some added value to their self-image. They must have this self-importance, self-belonging, self-awareness, self-acceptance. Their image should be valuable. Because any picture that is taken, when it's well taken, it can add value to it. You can add value to it. You can sell it. You can even use it as a magazine and sell. You see, there is value associated with every nice picture. That's the same way as a leader. When you have been able to give a nice shot of the people, bringing out the best in them, value is added to their life. Let me skip from here because there's a lot that we can see. I always say that everything I see, I just scratch the surface. Okay, so let's move to the last one. We are speaking about the personality of God. We are speaking about the personality of a gardener or a farmer. We are speaking about the personality of an artist or a painter. Okay, we just spoke about the personality of that of a cameraman. Okay, a cameraman or a paparazzi, a photographer. Now let's come to the last, okay, but not the least. I believe that is even the foundation of what we are talking about. That is parenting. Our parents, in understanding leadership in line with parenting. Understanding leadership in line with parenting. So what do our parents do? What is parenting and what is parenthood, and how can we associate leadership, define leadership with parenting? One of the core foundations of parenting is care, nurturing. Is care, nurturing. Is care, nurturing. Okay, so this is what we are saying. Leadership is caring and nurturing people. If you are a leader and you don't care, you don't nurture people, you are not leading them. When we talk about leadership, most of the times we rush to think that the leader should be someone taking the people somewhere. No. It's not always that your leadership ability is taking people somewhere. Sometimes your assignment or what you are doing is you are placing something in them. You don't take them anywhere, but you place something in them. So leadership is about care for the people. So one of my favorites, or like the father of leadership, someone I have learned leadership from. I read his books on leadership. Even just Sunday, I was listening to one of his podcasts on the levels of leadership, talking about the 5 M's. Okay, and he always says that, John C. Maxwell, he says that if you don't get the heart of people, you don't touch their heart, you can never get their hand. So for you to touch the heart of someone, it helps you to get the person's hand. That is when the person will follow you, or the person will desire to submit to you. So what most of the times what we can do is that we have to touch the heart. And how do you touch the heart? This is a place of emotional connection. This is the place where we have contact with the person emotionally. So you have to get emotional attachment with the person before you can get a physical attachment. But we want to meet somebody and just the person should follow us, but we have not really touched the heart. How do you touch the heart? Care for the person. Care about the person's need. Care about the person's spiritual growth. Care about the person's family. Care about the person's what? Education. There's nobody who jokes with the family. So when you care about my family, I know you care about me. Because my greatest motivation in life is my family. That I may make sure that my wife will have the best in life. That my children will have the best in life. That my parents will have the best in life. My siblings will have the best in life. So when you care about my family, I know you care for me. So that one, I am willing to submit. I'm willing to follow you as a leader. So leadership is about showing care, having interest in them. Do you care about what they eat? Do you care where they sleep? Do you care what they are into? What will be their future? Do you care about the next, what they have planned to become? Do you care? Are they just following you so that you can just have the status in life as in a leader, have the title as a leader, or you really care about them? You really care about them. And so that is the aspect of leadership in parenting. What does it mean to nurture for them? To nurture is to make sure that, you see, they are growing. They are growing, and their growth is personal to you. Their growth is personal to you. You don't just call for meetings because you want people to come and there'll be pictures, then you upload it and you know that people came for your meeting. No. So we are going to measure value. So people having bigger meetings. After some years, the people who attend your meeting, if they don't become anything, then it was a fake. Yes. So it's better to have 5 people, spend time with them. You see, don't rush with your leadership, or don't think the growth or your success as a leader has to do with the numbers following you. No. It's in the product or the results you show for. The result that you are showing, the result that is shown, the fruit, is what tells us what kind of tree it is. So with your leadership, the people that you attract, the people that you are training, who they become is when we say you are successful or not. I think that leadership is these 5 things. Or there are more, but for now, this is what I want to give to you, that this is what leadership is. So we are talking about leadership. Though it is difficult to define, but the definition, you can define leadership in context or in connection to what? To the personality of some people. So to God, to the personality of God. We say leadership is what? Creativity. That is what? Making something out of nothing. The way God made man out of a sun. So magical. Like this is wisdom. A sun that cannot be used for anything or cannot be used for many things, but man is made out of the sun. This is leadership. The ability to create something out of what? Out of nothing. Making what? Something out of nothing. So leadership is creativity or creativeness, and that is what? Making something out of nothing. Then to the gardener, in the personality of a gardener, what are we saying leadership is? We are saying that leadership is cultivating or to cultivation. Okay, so leadership is cultivation. What do we mean by cultivation? We are saying that producing many out of the little. You give a farmer a seed, a maize seed, a handful, and the person can give you maybe a whole land out of maize. Can give you a plantation of maize. How possible? Because you cultivate the people, you plant them. You make sure they grow, they become mature through the process of growth. What else did we say leadership is in connection to the personality of what? A painter or an artist. We say that it is combining what difference to make a meaning. So the way different colors come together to make a meaning of a picture or of a painting, of a drawing. That is the work of a leader. So leadership is what? Combining different leadership style, different people, just to give a meaning or achieve a goal. That is leadership. Then the last but one, we say leadership is what? Of a cameraman or a paparazzi. Leadership is capturing the best of people and making it a reality. That is where their self-image or their imperfection is perfected. Their self-image, value is added to their self-image. And the last one we just spoke about, looking at parenting, our parents, how they care about us. So what is leadership? Leadership is caring and nurturing for the people. You can never get a person who will say that the person has grown, he has become matured. The growth of anybody that we adore or we say that this person has grown very well, it's not just in their body, but mentally or emotionally, the person has grown that the society or the community can value or get something good out of the person. Is a person that we can say that he was cared for or she was cared for. The people that were not cared for, they were not loved, they are the ones who become vagabonds in the community. So for leaders to produce good leaders, we need to care for our followers. So this is where we end our first episode 1 of Leadership Pie. My name still remains LD, George Kobina Ofori. Many times people ask me, what is the meaning of LD? So the LD there is leader. Okay, the way we have DR as a doctor, that is how I coined the LD some years ago as a leader. So my name is LD George Kobina Ofori. So leader George Kobina Ofori. I'm a Ghanaian. So this is Stan Inclusive Consult, a consultancy that we deal with leadership, legal and management. We train, we give consultation, we speak at conferences. So that's what basically we do. So we decided to put together a podcast that is called Leadership Pie. When you buy a meat pie or a fish pie, any pie, okay, as a pastry and you eat, it's a combination of a lot of things. But the taste and the satisfaction, you cannot deny it. And so that is how our leadership pie is going to be. You're going to get a bit of everything. You're going to get religion. You are getting culture. You are learning education. You are learning a lot from this simple and our podcast. You are schooled in different things. But you see, you are getting the satisfaction of our leadership pie. So this is Leadership Pie episode 1 with LD George Kobina Ofori. See you next month. And for now, it's bye. Thank you so much. Please share, please like, please comment, okay, on all the platforms that you see. We are having a program that we will advertise, and the next month when I come your way with Leadership Pie episode 2. Okay, thank you so much. And let these words be a blessing to someone by sharing. Thank you.